Hello, friends. I'm Megan Grebner, president of the NAFB Foundation. The future of farm broadcasting is bright. The foundation again awarded numerous internship grants this year, providing invaluable hands-on broadcast experience to students from around the country. The foundation also provides scholarships and offers continuing education grants to its members. For the next few minutes, I'd like you to get to know this year's internship grant winners as they highlight their experiences with stations and networks in our organization. And if you're as inspired as I have been, feel free to use the QR code in this video or stop by in person to make a donation to support the NAFB Foundation or the Booster Club and help us fund the future of farm broadcasting. I hope you have a great NAFB convention, and don't forget to bid often during this week's auctions to support the foundation. Have a great convention, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us from the Kalmbach Feed Studios. I'm Jacob Zakowski. This is the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust, and a look at your afternoon farm news and information.
I've had the pleasure of working with the Ohio Country Journal and Ohio AgNet for the past 8 months, serving as both an afternoon farm broadcaster and intern in almost every aspect of the company.
It's an industry I never thought I'd find myself working in. I grew up in the suburbs where car rides with my family would consist of country music, talk shows, and news. At the age of 13, I started working on small vegetable farms and eventually managing a tomato operation. I've learned by writing and reporting, and have enjoyed my time writing news packages. Lots of momentum in Ohio's meat processing and marketing industry, producing farm shows. Since the USMCA took effect, U.S. pork exports and reading markets. July soybeans, $14.85.5, down 40.25.
What I love about farm news is it creates the biggest impact, immediate market implications, farm practices, and telling the story that we live out ourselves.
Throughout the week, my main priority is to keep up to date on the weather, news, and market influences in Ohio and abroad, especially in Washington, D.C., and the progress of the Farm Bill. In the afternoons, I produce, record, edit farm shows for radio affiliates in Ohio. I connect farmers and rural Ohioans with news that is affecting their operation, but more importantly, provide a voice they can trust.
My office is in every place that agriculture calls home in Ohio, like 12-day coverage at the Ohio State Fair.
I look forward to continuing my sophomore year at Cornell University studying agricultural science. Thank you to the National Farm Broadcasting Association for sponsoring this opportunity and supporting my future as an agricultural communicator.
Reporting from the Ohio AgNet this summer, I'm Jacob Zakowski.
Hello everyone, I am Jordan Wickard here at the Indiana State Fair where I'm kind of ending my internship with Who's Your Ag Today. I've had an absolute blast with Who's Your Ag Today and working with the HAT team, but some of those main things I've really learned from this internship is the interviews I've had the chance to be a part of, the behind the camera and behind the scenes that I have been able to participate in, as well as radio and being on air has been some of the most amazing experiences I could have asked for. The first opportunity I got with Who's Your Ag Today was being on air on radio. And this was an opportunity for me to really step out of my comfort zone and find what the right tone is, what the right things to say are, and also a learning experience for me. I was in charge of doing the energy reports each day, and with that I was able to learn about what an energy report is, whether that be the corn bids or looking at the price of crude and the reason why crude is up or down.
Oil futures were down yesterday due to concern the federal policy will raise interest rates. Crude closed at $81.16, down 88 cents. AAA says Indiana unleaded gas averaged yesterday at $3.78 flat, and diesel.
And this was really also a chance for me to learn about Adobe Audition. I had never used Adobe Audition before, and because of this chance, I was able to learn how to get it all down to about 1 minute to submit by a certain time. This also taught me responsibility and being able to do things in a timely manner as those markets come out at a certain time, and it's important to make sure that you are getting that in efficiently and effectively. The next item I was really able to do with Hoosier Ag Today was putting on interviews and being able to interview people. This was so awesome for me because I got to see from going to grab someone from an interview right after an event was over to make sure that we were the first on the list for their interviews, to actually thinking of those questions of what do I need to ask this person that will get the point across that we really want to invest with them. And I have absolutely loved the interviews, and this has been also an awesome opportunity for me to network with people. For example, we went to the Indy 500 Rookie Luncheon, and this was a chance for me to meet Stingray Robb, one of the participants in the race. And with that, it's those little things that really count, and that small interaction from going to get him to the point where we did the interview, that networking experience and meeting all these people, especially with the Dairy Association. We did so much with the American Dairy Association, and being able to learn from those people and really see kind of a different perspective than what I'm used to. I grew up on our Angus cattle family farm, and so I've been very used to the beef cattle industry. And so being able to see that other side of the cattle industry on that dairy side, this was so awesome for me to be able to meet these people and really hear why their passion is what it is. Finally, I was able to kind of see the behind the scenes and behind the camera of what a video production looks like. I worked with our video person, Elise, and she was able to really guide me in the right direction in all different aspects of what a video should look like. She helped me and kind of taught me how that B-roll is supposed to be taken and what shots can be taken and how we can portray and look at what do we want that message to be and how can we put that into the shots that we're going to get of those individuals we're going to be interviewing. I really enjoyed being able to take this B-roll and take those video shots because I knew that in the end we were going to make a difference with that video production, and being able to see that raw emotion from those people that we were taking those B-roll of in many events, whether it be the Indiana State Fair Grand Drive or whether it be that time at the ice cream social for the American Dairy Association. We were able to capture those smiles, capture those emotions, capture those happy tears, and really be able to share a message that is so important for not only people in agriculture, but just the public to know, and why people are passionate about what they are within the agriculture industry. I want to say thank you to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting for the opportunity to really have this internship. It is because of you and the grant that Hoosier Ag Today used that I had the opportunity to learn so much, and my passion for broadcasting and really everything I was able to learn through this internship has continued to thrive and grow. I also want to say thank you to the Hoosier Ag Today team. I have had an absolute blast working with you all this summer, and I look forward to staying in touch in the future and continuing to further our relationship and network with you and continue to talk to you. I also want to say thank you just to everyone who's really supported me, whether that's people within the NAFB or even those that are outside of the association. I just want to say thank you for continuing to push me to be the best Jordan Wickard I can. With that, I'm Jordan Wickard with Hoosier Ag Today, Indiana's leading farm network.
If you had told me a year ago that I would be a farm broadcaster, I may not have believed you. I was not entirely sure of my post-graduation plans as I neared my penultimate semester at Auburn University, yet I still needed to complete an internship before graduating the following May. Randall Weissman, news director for Southeast AgNet, called one day, during that fall semester to ask if I would be interested in an internship, noting that several people had mentioned me for the role. Growing up in agriculture, particularly the livestock industry, I understood the importance of ag news. Though not directly involved in farm broadcasting throughout college, I was a student member of the NAFB while I pursued a degree in agricultural communications. While originally slated for an internship in Washington, D.C. for my last semester of college, I'm glad I accepted the offer to join the Southeast AgNet. Though a cow guy, I was and continue to be afforded the opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of other sectors of the agricultural industry through working with Southeast AgNet. Whether in a cow pasture or cotton field, with peanut producers or politicians, farm broadcasting has a place. As a licensed auctioneer, professional announcer, cowboy poet, and author of an agricultural children's book currently in the publishing process, I understand the importance of a story. I am honored to have the opportunity to help tell the story of agriculture through farm broadcasting. Thank you to NAFB, thank you to Southeast AgNet. Among all men, I am most richly blessed. From the Southeast AgNet, I'm Will Jordan.
We're here today with our NAFB intern, Miss Macy Carter. So Macy, start off telling us who you are and where you're going to school.
Yeah, so like she said, my name is Macy Carter. I'll be a sophomore in the fall at Oklahoma State University, and I'm originally from Marion, Ohio, so a little bit off base, not your typical Oklahoma State intern, but yeah, it's been a good experience and I'm happy to be here.
So you've done a lot of things for us. You've covered several events, one being the huge pork expo. So kind of talk to us a little bit about how you even got there and what you ended up doing while you were there.
Yeah, so that was a super fun experience because it was super spontaneous. I mentioned to Casey one day that I was going to Iowa to visit a friend during the World Pork Expo, and she kind of gave me free rein and said run with it. So I'm really grateful that I had that support to do those types of things, and I showed up and kind of used some of my connections to wiggle into the media room and ended up getting some amazing interviews with huge folks like Scott Hayes and Dwayne from Ohio from the National Pork Producer Council. So it was a super fun experience, and it really showed me what the agricultural community is like.
And that's an event that we haven't actually been able to cover in the past at Oklahoma Farm Report. So it was so nice hearing all of those stories and basically making all those really good connections that may come in later.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about some of the other events. I know we've had you cover some things in Stillwater. You and Reagan, who works with us here at Oklahoma Farm Report, had a really fun experience at the field day in Lahoma. Not necessarily because they were just getting great stories, which they did, but also for a little mishap that happened. So share that.
Yeah, the Lahoma Wheat Day is one I won't forget for many reasons. First off, did my first ever interview there, so very memorable. Got to interview and worked with some really great producers, get kind of those grassroots type feeling. Got to talk with some great professors from Oklahoma State. And then, of course, it had to rain on us the whole day we were out in the field. So, you know our luck, our cars got stuck in the field. But, you know, we love Oklahoma hospitality. We had some great professors that were willing to pull us out, but definitely a memorable experience.
So talk a little bit about what you're majoring in and what your goals are for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a double major in agricultural business and agricultural communications, and I have a minor in ag leadership. So while my path is not quite determined, I've certainly enjoyed my experience with Oklahoma Farm Report and Radio Oklahoma Ag Network. I can definitely see something like this in my future, but who knows where I'll end up for sure.
Do we think you could maybe in the future be a farm broadcaster? Because we'd really love that. We need more of those.
I certainly hope that's in my future. Maybe Radio Oklahoma Farm Network can help me out with that in the future. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Macy. We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
Hi NAFB Foundation. My name is Jennifer Holliday, and this summer I'm interning for the National Agriculture Podcast, Ag News Daily. My daily duties this summer have included anything from finding interviews to put on the podcast, as well as potentially hosting the podcast depending on the co-host schedules, posting on social media, and editing the 30-minute podcast every day. This opportunity has allowed me to broaden my horizons in the agriculture industry due to the vast amount of interviews that we have been able to find, because they have ranged from politicians to Christmas tree farmers to ranchers and even more. I have also learned a lot about the commodity markets, weather, and on a different note, how to be independently driven when it comes to work. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not in a typical broadcasting studio at the moment. I'm actually on a beach at South Carolina. This internship this summer is remote, which may be a challenge for some, but for me it has been amazing because it has allowed me to work from where I need to be and want to be, which has allowed me to still attend family trips, national conferences, and university meetings that I need to be at. The broadcasting industry has endless career opportunities, some of which I have had the opportunity to learn about this summer thanks to the grant that you awarded to Ag News Daily NAFB Foundation. I cannot thank you enough for the grant that you awarded because it has allowed me to broaden my horizons to all of the opportunities out there. Thank you again.
Hi, my name is Kinley Humphreys, and this summer I interned at RFD-TV in Nashville, Tennessee. Agriculture has always been a big part of my life since I was growing up on the farm. When I got into high school and joined FFA, I knew I wanted to advocate for this industry and help farmers any way I could, and that led me to majoring in ag communications. Some of my responsibilities this summer was helping to write scripts for the anchors to read. This was challenging at first because I was used to writing in an article format and not like someone was speaking. Luckily, I had some great feedback and I'm more comfortable with my writing skills. I also got to set up the green room and greet guests. I met some really cool people and loved to hear their experiences. That was definitely one of my favorite parts about the internship, right behind going to a shoot with one of our anchors. I'm very thankful for this internship because it has given me an amazing experience and connections that I can use for my future career. This fall, I'm looking forward to putting some of my new skills to the test as I continue my education at Murray State University, majoring in ag communications.
I am Colton Roy, the 2023 Brownfield intern. I'm from a rural community in northwest Missouri. I wasn't raised on a farm, but whenever my mom married my stepdad, we moved on to his row crop operation, which exposed me to the industry for the first time. After that, I joined 4-H and FFA, and I started raising honeybees and just became more involved with the industry, which eventually led me to this internship. Currently, I am at Mizzou studying international business, finance, and banking, and I have a minor in agricultural communications. I think that it's really important that we have people that tell agriculture's story. This past year, I was able to travel around the state a lot, and I got to diversify my view of agriculture. And so being able to tell other stories as well as my own, and so being able to advocate for my industry was really important, and it's something I want to continue to do in the future. My time at Brownfield has taught me the importance of communication. Every day we communicate with people, and it's really important to do that effectively and concisely. And the reporters here at Brownfield taught me that agriculturists rely on world news, current events to make sure that their businesses are profitable and that they're making the right decisions on their farm. Dive in and explore as many different parts of the broadcasting industry as you can, and learn from every single person on the team. They're extremely knowledgeable about their field and what they do. In the future, I hope to continue advocating for agriculture. I, at some point, hope to become involved in the policy process. I plan to go to law school, so being able to be knowledgeable about the agricultural industry and communicate that to others will be very important as I champion for the industry.
Hi, my name is Jessie Lamp, and I spent my summer interning with the Nebraska Rural Radio Association in Lincoln, Nebraska. I was born and raised in Montana and grew up alongside the agriculture industry. Whether I was in the sale barn helping my mom or listening to AM radio on the way to school, agriculture was a prevalent piece of my life at a young age. I became interested in an internship in radio because of the widespread impact it has on those who are involved in agriculture. I am passionate about bringing awareness to agriculture and the importance it has on our world today. This association owns and operates 15 radio stations that share agricultural news, weather updates, and information across 6 states in the High Plains. This summer, I was blessed with opportunities to gain educational experiences, network with professionals, and immerse myself into Nebraska's agricultural community. In the studio, I gained foundational knowledge about recording interviews, editing audio, and creating graphic designs. I work daily conducting interviews and recording audio stories that are then used on air and online, that are then written and published to our website. I also enjoy creating graphics that can be used to boost social media traffic and bring awareness to agricultural topics. Apart from office tasks, I enjoy getting out in the field. This is where I network and make connection with those who are at the forefront of Nebraska's agriculture industry. Projects included filming Fridays in the Field episodes, visiting other station locations across the state, and meeting with leaders of the Nebraska Rural Radio Association. My responsibilities also included setting up camera equipment, checking audio levels, and positioning the camera correctly to ensure high-quality video footage. Through this internship, the Rural Radio Network has allowed me to gain knowledge in working with software such as Adobe Audition and Adobe Premiere Pro. These platforms play a crucial role in developing well-organized audio and video content. I am thankful to have learned these foundational skills. Whether in the office or out in the field, this internship has revealed my interest and passion for agricultural communication. The Rural Radio Network has provided me with a better understanding of the farm broadcasting industry. Overall, working with the Nebraska Rural Radio Association has provided me with a once-in-a-lifetime chance to share news and tell stories that matter most to agricultural community. I am grateful for this educational experience that will help lead a successful path while continuing my endeavors at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln as an agricultural and environmental sciences communication major. I'd like to thank the NAFB Foundation for helping make this opportunity possible.
My name is Chloe Hamaker, and I am the 2023 Summer Farm Broadcast Intern with The Big Show on 1040 WHO Radio. I am a junior at West Texas A&M University, majoring in Agricultural Media and Communications. I am also an Atterbury Honor Scholar and the treasurer of WT's Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow Club. I am a born and raised Iowa cowgirl from Van Wert, Iowa. My family runs a cow-calf operation and farms corn, soybeans, and hay. I also have a couple horses and compete in barrel racing and rodeo. The farm and the rodeo arena are where I found my passion for agriculture, and broadcasting is just one way for me to share that passion. During my internship, I worked with Bob Quinn, David Geiger, and Nathan Fisher, both in studio and on the road. I attended events, took photos, and edited videos to create social media content. I wrote and wrapped news reports from the NAFB News Service and the USDA to play on air. And I took our 2-hour live show, edited and uploaded it into 2 20 to 30 minute podcasts every day. I have learned how to read the agricultural commodity markets, conduct interviews, and network. However, the most valuable thing I learned was the importance of listening to and building a relationship with my audience. I am so grateful for the opportunity provided by the NAFB Foundation Internship Grant Program. The knowledge and skills I have gained this summer are so valuable, and I am so excited to take it and apply it to my future.
For The Big Show, I'm Chloe Hamaker.
Hello, I'm Matthew Lester, and I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. Throughout my radio career, I've helped WSGW's farm director, Terry Henney, with his farm show, the Week in Review, the Farm Final, and I've even made public announcements before. One of my biggest reasons I went into agricultural communications is my love for animals and my love for nature. Growing up, I loved playing outside and seeing animals any chance I could. I loved going up to my grandfather's farm and riding all the different toys he had up there and helping him with all the different animals he had. My hopes for the future of my radio career is to either have my own radio show or radio segment, either about the outdoors, news, sports, or animals. I plan on using my electronic communication skills to further my work and even at home life. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day. and thank you for the opportunity of having this internship.
Hi, my name is Jace Green, and this summer I've had the excellent opportunity that I want to thank you for, by the way, to be able to work with Gail Cunningham with Wixie Classic 99.1 FM and be a small part of the NAFB. This summer I've been able to intern with Gail, and it started a long time ago whenever Gail makes his rounds during the summer at all the county fairs in the Ag Force region and the Moultrie Douglas County Fair. I'm from Arthur, Illinois. The Moultrie Douglas County Fair located in Arthur. He has interviewed myself and my siblings showing hogs for many years, and last summer we just finished up showing hogs and I was getting ready to go for a run, and I passed him. He was tearing down his tent, getting ready to head to another county fair or to pack up for the week or day, whatever it was, and I was wearing my running shorts and no shirt because it was a hot day, and I approached him about an interview, maybe not the most appropriate time, but I approached him about the opportunity to work with him as an intern. I'd always looked up and admired him and his interns from as early as I could realize what they were. I'd looked up to him, and so I inquired about this position, and so I like to joke that my interview was done shirtless in a pair of short shorts. But we continued to talk throughout the fall and the winter and into the spring about this, and I was fortunate enough to be able to be selected to be his intern for this summer, and I'm so incredibly thankful and grateful for this opportunity. I've always known that I'd like to use my voice, but I'd been just studying ag business at Western Illinois University. I just finished up my freshman year there, going into my sophomore year here in August. And I come from a family farm, so the plan was to return back to the family farm, but I always knew I liked to talk. In school, the highlights of my school day were being able to talk to the class in front of an assembly or whatever it may be. I like to use my voice, and so I figured I would explore that this summer, and I did, and I'm so thankful for that, and I'd like to go back to school and pick up a minor in communications or in broadcasting or something along those lines, because I do believe I've started to tap into a passion here at Wixie Classic, thank you to NAFB. And I was kind of thrown into the fire. They say the best way to learn how to swim is to be thrown into the middle of a lake. You won't let yourself sink. Well, Gail certainly threw me into the middle of a lake, and I had to figure it out pretty quick. I'd worked with him for a little under a week, and thank goodness on that Friday we'd gone over just enough to get me by in case of an emergency. And the next Monday, he suffered a heart attack on the way to the studio. And so I showed up just like it was any other day and was told that Gail was having some health issues and that I was going to have to take over as much as I could. And I'm thankful for the help of the other people in the building and on the other stations that helped me out. But I was kind of the interim farm director for Wixie Classic for 2 or 3 weeks there until Gail was able to get back on his feet and get back to the studio. So I had to figure it out pretty quick, and that's the best way to learn, I always say, but it's not an ideal way to get there, really. But I am so incredibly thankful for this opportunity, and I want to thank you for providing me with this opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to be a part of the farm broadcasting community and being a part of NAFB. So thank you very much.
Well, you know, I've known the folks here at Northern Ag for quite a few years now, and in fact, they put behind the mic here a couple years ago when I was a Montana FFA state officer, and you know, I guess during that time it sparked my interest of what the ag communication industry really is. And you know, with going to Montana State University and as an ag leadership major, I was asked to have an internship for class credit. So what better way to come work for Northern Ag Network, which is just an hour away from my home. You know, I get to go back and work on the weekends with my parents and then skip out on work during the weekdays and come and do radio programs here and learn more about the agriculture industry, but also get to meet good people and to get to go and travel across the state of Montana and search out those industry industry meetings that are going on throughout the year.
Very good. Well, maybe just describe some of your responsibilities that you've had while you've been here this summer.
Yeah, so when I first came to Northern Ag Network, the very first thing they did is they introduced me to all the departments in the Northern Broadcasting System. So I got to meet with the sales crew, I got to meet with the news crew, and then eventually I took on the ag broadcasting side, which is where I've been introduced to finding stories and data collection, and then putting together my own market reports, and then also doing News and Voices programs, to which I take interviews from people all across the ag industry, and I translate that to stories that our listeners want to hear across Montana, the Western Dakotas, and Wyoming.
Well, what have you enjoyed most in your time here this summer?
Well, I think the culture here at Northern Ag Network really made it an enjoyable experience, just in the sense where I could come in every single day, and it's positive culture that they created here. But I think it's only made better when you get to travel outside of the office, you know, going to these industry meetings and these conventions that are happening all across our state. That's kind of what I find probably the most enjoyable, just because, you know, this opportunity to come intern for Northern Ag was a place where I could step away from the family farm and get to see more of industrial ag within the state of Montana. And by able to travel and do these ag broadcasting stories on the road, that was kind of a cool sight to see.
Well, kind of asking you to wear two hats now, but given now your role as a farm broadcaster, but also part of a family farm operation, I'd like you to describe the role that farm broadcasting has for agricultural producers.
Yeah, you know, I remember when I first got into a tractor, before I even turned the key, I had to make sure the radio was working right. So I was listening to the radio anytime I was working fields, tilling the fields, planting the fields. And that is where I got much of my ag news. And I think that also translates to much of the ag industry, today, to where most people are getting their information from the radio or from us ag broadcasters that are traveling across the state and delivering these real life stories and these real-time news that people can find relevant in their operations and translate that to actually operating that in their everyday experiences. And I think that's where radio comes into play, is, you know, how do we provide something that adds value to their operations? And I think we try and do that,
Sure. Well, lastly, I mean, how do you think this internship will help you as you look at your future career path and your future goals?
Well, I think the biggest thing I've learned from interning with Northern Ag is data collection, right? What is really happening in the everyday life of the farmer and the rancher, but moreover, what's happening in our markets and the industry. And I think that's something that's really important translating forward to future careers, is what is actually playing a part in world dynamics. And I think for me, being able to actually have hands-on abilities to find that data and to find the news for myself, this was something where, you know, I have a better understanding of the ag industry overall. And moving towards future careers, I'm just thankful for the time that I had here and to be able to have this experience with people who have been, you know, talking about the ag industry for years upon years, and to have that background, I think that was really important for my time here.
Hello, my name is Maddie Wells. I am here at the WITY station in Danville, where I've had the opportunity to work as an intern this summer through the foundation of NAFB grant.
Well, Maddie, you've done a fantastic job doing a lot of interviews at the fairs and helping me out here in the ag department at WITY. Talk a little bit about your experiences that you had.
Honestly, I've been able to go to so many different fairs throughout this summer, as well as just attend a couple of tractor shows, as well as being able to be involved with DAC, the local community college here.
Oh yeah, we started out covering that drone event, you and I, way back there when you first started with us, and I've been impressed with your interview skills from day one, young lady.
Thank you.
So what are some of the stuff that you got to do this summer that you didn't think you were going to get to do before you came here at WITY?
Honestly, I've learned a lot in the studio and being able to work on editing some of the pieces that I've done myself, as well as just being able to see how the radio is ran. I had honestly no clue previously, so it has been great to do that and to see how that all operates.
Very important part of my staff here, and we couldn't have done it without the help from the NAFB Foundation. And you got to do so many interviews with kids at 4-H projects, doing their 4-H projects. I was so impressed with how easily you worked with those kids.
Yes, it was amazing getting to know all of their personal stories and backgrounds. Just a lot of those kids had even come from generations upon generations with their parents and their grandparents, and even further back than that, as well as just being able to start out fresh and never have done it before. It's been great to see those kids even prosper as well through being able to show animals or have projects that are involved in the 4-H showing area.
How will that experience, doing all those interviews with kids, help you for your expected career?
That will actually be extremely helpful, as I will be an agriculture education teacher, hopefully, after completing my bachelor's degree, and those students are actually going to be who I will teach in the future, those younger generations that I've been able to interview this summer. So getting to know more about that 4-H aspect has been wonderful, as I only really knew much about the FFA portion. So getting to know what those students are doing through the summer months and what they have to dedicate even during the school year to going and taking care of those animals or those products has been great to know.
Helping me on a new project here at WITY as we're reaching out to our local FFA chapters, and your FFA experience has been very important to me to making this project a success.
Yes, I was previously involved in the Oakwood FFA chapter where I grew up, as well as the Section 18, which is where I served as the 2020-2021 Section 18 president. And I've had a great opportunity just to be a part of that organization. It's really taught me so much, and I couldn't have been here today without it.
And we're going to miss you when you go back to school. Your last chance to say your final thank yous.
Well, thank you to WITY Radio. Obviously, I would not be able to have been a part of this summer with them without that. I want to thank also just the Danville Area Community College and the opportunities that they have given me, and to my instructor, Brandy Marin. She has also been a huge part in my experience of being here and giving me, again, this opportunity. And I would like to also thank the NAFB Foundation for just being able to have these grants to these students that are in college and being able to spend the summer at a radio station. It's really taught me more than I could even think of. So I thank all of those people, as well as my family and my friends, for their support. I know a lot of people have tuned in to listen to me throughout the summer, or have stopped in to see me just whenever I've been at a fair. So I am thankful to all of those people as well.
You got it, son. All right, Kinley, tell me a little bit about the internship. Kinley Deason has been our intern this year at Your Ag Edge and WKDZ, WHBO. Kinley, tell me a little bit about the internship. What have you learned? What have you done this summer?
It's been an interesting summer. Done a little bit of everything. First day I flew a spray drone, didn't crash it. The next day I met the governor. We've just been a little bit of everywhere, doing a little bit of everything.
What have you learned this summer? Tell us some of the things you've learned.
My communication skills have improved a lot, and
you know, obviously you've had a chance to do some interesting things. Tell us about some of the events you've covered. You talked about the governor and the spray drum. What are some of the events you've been to this year?
I've covered a lot of 4-H extension kind of things, auctions like farm equipment auctions.
Hey, what's been the highlight of it for you? Any particular things stand out?
I've enjoyed meeting all the people related to the ag industry and just making all the connections with it.
Has it changed your perception or your idea of what the ag industry is like these days?
Yes, because it's shown how much more technology is involved in ag, which I knew it was, but there's a lot more involved than you would think.
Or you've had some hot times too, been out to a couple of farm tours and things like that. Those are always hot, but always fun times too, right?
Yes, very fun.
Tell us about covering the farm tour recently for the UK field day. How was that?
It was fun. It was very hot, but we just went and we talked about different aspects of crops and just like pest management aspects, stuff like that. And then we just talked about how UK is rebuilding after the tornado of December, and that was about it.
How's it going? Do you think this will change maybe what you're looking to do as a career after you get done with this?
Yeah, it definitely made me for sure that I want to get my master's in ag communications.
And you're going to continue helping us some too, which is a good thing.
Yes, I am. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, especially with one of our new radio stations. So Kinley, it's been a pleasure to have you with us this summer, and hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned some things, and hopefully you get a chance to go with us in September or in October or November, out to Kansas City.
All right, I'm excited.